Hello YouTube and fellow Star Wars collectors. On this episode of Toys Are the Way, I will be sharing my upgraded vintage collection Nevarro Cantina playset. If you enjoy this video and find it inspiring, be sure to hit that like button, remember to subscribe, and make sure to ring that bell to stay notified. Upcoming videos will feature similar displays, diorama tutorials, and more from the vintage collection, so stay tuned. Welcome back everyone. In today's video, I'm very excited to share with you a project I've been working on for quite some time, and it is an upgraded vintage collection Nevarro Cantina playset from The Mandalorian. Hopefully you've picked up this amazing offering from the vintage collection. When Hasbro originally announced this way back when, my initial thoughts were, wow, that is amazing. I am very excited to get more playsets in the vintage collection, especially one from The Mandalorian. The Nevarro Cantina is an awesome setting, and who doesn't love some scum and villainy and bounty hunter aliens? Not to mention that the battle between Moff Gideon and Mando's crew in the end of Season 1 is quite an epic scene and worthy of recreation in your collection. Initially, when this product was revealed, I was very excited to be getting a Nevarro Cantina playset. The things that really caught my attention were the bar, the accessories, bar stools, and just the environment that we could now add to our collections. But then there were two things that my eyes started to focus on, and it was the cardboard door that you can see here on the packaging and the window that is also made of the same cardboard material. But because this playset was going to focus on that last battle with Moff Gideon, something else caught my attention. The fact that we could not see the back of the playset at all. I was very curious if it would be finished and we could use it as a double-sided display, allowing for, multiple scenes, indoor scenes, outdoor settings, but unfortunately, Hasbro only delivered the interior of the bar. While I was a little disappointed, I still thought this was the great foundation for an amazing world building opportunity, and that's what I would like to share with you right now. So let's take a quick look at the Nevarro Cantina with no weathering or upgrades. Here you can see the cardboard window. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I just don't think it's super convincing. When you have a different texture like hard plastic going to what you can see here is an illustration on, a heavier kind of cardboard, my eye just always going to be drawn to trying to figure out, what's going on here. Why is there a difference? And that's just something that kind of bothers me, and I think it's just not very convincing. And I understand why Hasbro did it. They wanted to, provide people with an option, You can have a regular window, or you can have, the blown out battle damaged one. But I think that's just a play feature that, it's cool, but at the same time, I don't know, when it sacrifices the quality of material, it's just not the best in my opinion. I also think perhaps if they tried to do some weathering that matched that a little better to, blend everything, I think that could have helped this, but as you can see, there's definitely no weathering on this playset whatsoever. So this also came with this half of an arch that snaps into the holes on the side, which is cool. It's not very secure, which kind of bothers me, and I also think it would have been really cool if they gave us maybe like a full arch instead. I think that just would have added a little more to it. It just seems, half done. And I know you can get multiples of these and kind of put them together, but I don't know. I think that would have been cool to get a full arch. You obviously get a door, but I have taken both the doors and the bar accessories. This is mostly just a comparison of just showing you the weathering versus the non-weathering. Now when looking at these two side by side, they are noticeably different. Here you can see my cantina with a front and back, extended height, and weathering throughout. The addition is a separate piece which is removable, allowing for more flexibility when it comes to displaying my cantina. Since nothing is permanently attached, I can easily take things apart and display this cantina at the height that it was intended to, possibly placing it on a smaller shelf. So as I've mentioned, I think this set is the great foundation for any type of world building display. I personally didn't really want to go through the trouble of making this arch and just the architecture that goes into what you see here on this wall. So it's nice that Hasbro did provide that, but I did want to raise the ceiling height, just for better perspective if I'm doing like an upward angled shot, and, just create a bigger environment for my figures to interact in. So that's what I've done here. I've incorporated the cantina into my own section of wall that raises it, and I've just dirtied it up really well, because in the Star Wars universe, things are just dirty. They are lived in, they are aged, and it just needs to look grimy. And that's what I've done here. So here's the main cantina itself. Here you can see I've added a lot of nice rust and metallic shines to just bring those dispensers to life. I really like those details, and I wanted them to have a lot more pop to them. And you can see I've added a lot of smudge marks and just like grime and buildup in the corners and edges. Just, the way I normally weather my projects, if you've seen it in my other videos. And then we have the back. So to fix the window cardboard issue, I simply used a piece of XPS foam that I've covered in grout and weathered up very nicely. Here you can see the back side where there's a lot more weathering, where the areas of the cantina doesn't actually cover the XPS foam. So basically I just measured the space out and then traced it on the XPS foam and made sure that it would fit nice and snug. You can even see on the XPS foam a couple indents where these like hardware pieces are from the original cantina, but I just forced that in and it fits nice and snug. Actually kind of helps it lock in place. And as I said earlier, comparing the original cantina with, plastic to a cardboard texture, obviously these are different materials. This is plastic and this is, foam covered in a nice like textured rock material. But I've blended them together with the weathering to just make everything look very cohesive. And it really works. And I think that's something Hasbro could have done better if they wanted to sell that cardboard. But obviously the grout is going to look much more realistic. Also in the actual show, that window ledge is kind of deep, so that's something I really wanted to achieve here too, and I think it looks great. And the nice thing about how I designed this is that you can use this cantina just like this, or you can put the modular piece back on, and like I said, give yourself a bit more wall. I've weathered up every single thing in this cantina. You can't really notice it too much on the chairs, but you see it a little bit more on the leather seat itself. I added a nice little bit of grime to all these and kind of like dry brushed it in. You can see it a little bit on the back legs back there. And I wanted everything in this bar to be nice and dirty, so the bar itself has a lot of scuff marks. If you're sitting at the stool, kicking the bar a bit, there's just grime and all sorts of dirt all over. The top itself has a little bit, but the bartender's supposed to be keeping that clean. The trim, of course, has a little bit of grime as well. A little buildup and residue underneath as well. And the back, of course, I wanted to really dirty that up because, this is where you're storing all your drinks and miscellaneous bar items. So just dirtied everything up. But I'm really happy we got this. This was a very cool thing to be getting. And it's nice that, they're not built into the playset. You can use these in multiple displays, and that's why I think this set is actually really cool and the great foundation for world building, because you can put this in another type of bar that you might build for your diorama or collection setup. You can use it in a variety of different places. So pretty cool. And I really love these accessories. Getting the spotchka bottle and these other miscellaneous alcohol bottles was just a very nice addition. And it's always cool to have these new little accessories that you can put in a variety of different displays as well. And here you can see the reverse side, just a nice dirty outdoor setting that I can use to recreate that epic standoff between Moff Gideon and the Mandalorian. And here's my Nevarro Cantina set up in my collection room. And as you can see, we have a bar full of just scum and villainy, sharing a drink, telling stories, having a good time. I'm really happy that I have, a bar setting that I can put a bunch of figures in. And I'm really happy that I actually incorporated this into my display and town. And as you can see, I have an archway here that this balcony rests on top of. which just allowed me to continue to grow my city. And something that's really neat is that I added this skylight, which I think is a fun detail. It adds some perspective, allows some light to go through, and it's just, I don't know, it's a nice touch for the bar. So as you can see, the balcony rests on this little support beam there for that back wall, and then as well here on the archway. And then it also rests on that main facade of the bar. So that's how I was able to create this structure, which has some pretty cool lines of sight. You can look at it from multiple angles and just interact with the figures, just setting up a variety of scenes. Same goes for the doorway. I wanted, that doorway to be finished off, but be able to take a look outside and just see what's going on. Same thing with the window. And if you follow over here, we have my outdoor setting, which is a nice skirmish with the Mandalorian and crew and the remnant Imperial forces led by Moff Gideon. So it's nice that I can have these figures set up in this particular scene, but if I choose to remove these Imperials and get that vehicle out of the way, this outdoor wall can just serve as another building in my town, which is something when I took on this project I was really thinking about. I didn't want to limit myself to just it being a cantina. I wanted it to be incorporated into my diorama, which has been expanding, and I've been working on it very, very hard. And when I finish it, I'm definitely going to share an awesome video and just show you all the updates that I've been working on. If you take a look right here, I've added this pipe to cover up the peg holes from the original cantina door. I didn't really want those giant peg holes to be visible, so I created this little pipe with some wiring and rust to just cover that up. And it also adds a nice little flare and detail to the overall structure. I also had to create this overhang that allows the door to slide in place but not fall forward. Since nothing is technically glued together, I really needed that to be secure, and that was actually, I don't know, one of those great ideas that just hits you, and I like how it came out. This area right here, I think I'm going to add some more details like this, just to kind of cover up some of the original foundation work. So I'm very happy with how this project has turned out. I think it looks great. The only things I really want to kind of add are maybe some signage up here and some other decorations, just some things to add a little color, possibly some more tables and chairs, but for the most part, I'm very happy with this, and I think it looks fantastic. So there you have it, my upgraded vintage collection Nevarro Cantina playset. I hope you've enjoyed this video and find it inspiring for any of your future world building needs. Please let me know your thoughts and suggestions in the comments down below, and I'll see you on the next video.